Ayo, you were talking about success.
Yeah.
And you mentioned something the other time around one of the most important things to attain success in life is having a mentor.
Yeah.
Can you throw more light on that?
I think getting a mentor is quite important because unlike just a teacher, mentors don't only teach. They take you through a journey. And so they help you with experience. You can leverage on their experience. You can leverage on their knowledge, wisdom. You can leverage on their contact and network. So getting a mentor to me is, everybody should have a mentor in different areas. They make the journey easier. They help you make less mistakes. But you learn the trade from them. Whatever you want to achieve, you can learn it properly. Because it's not just enough for someone to tell you this is how to do stuff. Everybody tells us that, but we know that between telling me what to do and being able to do it is a whole different ballgame. But when you have a mentor, they are with you on that journey. It's not just someone telling you go and do ABC. It's someone you see how they've done ABC. And
then you learn from them. I completely agree with that because personally, you probably noticed I have mentors in my life and I have mentors in areas that I believe are key and very important to me.
Yeah.
So speaking is something I want to do. It's something I love doing. And I got myself a mentor, Les Brown, who trained me and mentors me on speaking.
Yeah.
You know, and the other area is wealth creation.
Yeah.
And I've got Ambi. For most people who knows Ambi, hopefully I should do a podcast with him pretty soon to introduce him to my audience, who mentors me on wealth creation. Talked about every time he's around in London, we catch up around time management, things to prioritize, how to invest, what to do with your money, you know, all of those.
I think I should mention one more thing about mentor, because really, when you look at life runs on principles.
Absolutely.
And most times when we struggle, it's either we don't understand principles or we are violating them. Either you have your reasons for example, when you look at wealth creation, for example, when people struggle financially, sometimes it's either you don't understand financial principles. They're simple, but it's either you don't understand them or you ignore them.
You're ignoring them.
And they are very easy to ignore.
Absolutely.
What mentor does is, because they've practiced those principles, they may not call it principle. They may not even say it like that. But if you have someone who has consistently achieved what you wanted, for him, if it's not a fraud, then it's definitely...
He has achieved it.
He's achieved it, and it's basically it's based on those principles. So you have a man who understands the principle and can help you with it. And they can tell you where you fail.
This is interesting though, if I put you on hold there. If I take the society we started from Nigeria, for example.
Yeah.
People not understanding, I don't know if it's lack of understanding of what the word mentor or who a mentor is to us in that society. I don't know which one it is. But people generally want to go to their priest, their pastor for everything. Even when they're in a place where they need a mentor.
Yeah.
And the pastors, I don't know if this is ignorance again or arrogance, then try to step into the place of a mentor for them. And I keep asking this question. You want to be a medical doctor. Of course, you want someone who is already a medical doctor to mentor you on how they got to where they got to. You don't go to your pastor to mentor you on how to be a doctor. And unfortunately in that society, we find that a lot of the pastors, rather than saying, oh no, you're coming to the wrong person, we say, oh yeah, this is what you need to do. And it's creating a bigger problem in that society.
Well, I see it in two ways.
Fire away.
One is that, like you said, if you want to train to become a medical doctor, you should be talking to a medical doctor. So I have a PhD, right, in maths. When I studied for my PhD, I had a mentor. We call it my PhD supervisor. But really, it was a mentor. It was guiding my journey through that studying for my PhD. My pastor can't do that for me.
Absolutely.
Of course, it's not an expert in mathematics. So, and it's the same principle. The reason why I could easily finish my PhD quickly and do something reasonable is because I have this mentor that guided me through that.
You didn't have to waste time.
So, for example, some things you waste your time on, it tells you, I did that 14 years ago and it didn't work. And this is why it's not going to work. You could have wasted another 6 months of your life just banging your head on something that won't work.
Yeah.
They can tell you straight away, read that book, go for this conference, attend that one, talk to this person. And they guide you.
They guide you. So
that is the first part that, of course, if pastors have resource persons, and pastors don't think they know it all, it would be arrogant for us to think we know it all. You can provide spiritual guidance. Doesn't mean, for example, if you look at the Bible, we had Moses, a very great man. But some point in his life, one of his in-law came and said, look, you're not doing things right. You needed to create structure. Otherwise, what you're doing is not sustainable. And he told him he needed to come up with this leadership, who will mentor who will be in charge of 10, and those ones we have. They gave him a structure that is sustainable and can be perpetuated after him. And you may look at his in-law and say it's not as spiritual as he is, but Moses was humble enough to know that was wisdom. That was wisdom. And it was interesting that God didn't even tell him that. I mean, Moses in the Bible was talking to God, they say like friend, but God didn't mention that to him. Which means the pastors shouldn't think, or spiritual leaders generally, should not think they know it all. I mean, it doesn't mean they don't know stuff. But the other flip side of it is that because I come from a place like Nigeria, I've also seen situations where there are not much mentor. And the only person people are looking up to is the pastor, especially in villages, for example. So the pastor has to be both the pastor, he has to help them get their finances right. It's just what it is when people don't. So what I would say is if the pastors have resource persons around, definitely encourage people to use those resource persons. When they don't, oftentimes it's just like a father. If you don't get any help, you are everything to your child. You help him with his assignment, you help him with everything. But definitely if you are struggling, what you want to do is link him up with people that can influence him.
So that's key in rural areas like villages, where the pastor, they don't have too many people to look up to.
Yes.
And you want to reach an ambition where you don't have those mentors or people around. You have to train your people. However, it's important that you make it clear that say I am only filling in the gap. Of course. And also we also live in an age where a lot of people can get information they need online.
So,
because again, there are mentors who are present in your life to guide you. There are mentors who are not physically present in your life and they can guide you. There are certain people I look up to on certain things that I have never met. And that one example is Eric Thomas, #1 motivational speaker in the world. I listen to all his podcasts. I've not met this guy, and I follow what he does, how he approaches things, and apply it because I want to succeed in that area.
So I would like to differentiate here, maybe my views. So, to me, the mentors I'm talking about, the mentors in your life, people know you can call you. People, when they see an opportunity, they could pick their phone call and ring you up and say, show up tomorrow morning. They should be in your life. Mentors should be in your life. You should know them, they should know you.
Key. And what about when you don't have that opportunity?
When you don't have that, the second class that you call mentors, I see them as teachers. They're also very crucial. So in the absence of mentors, most of us struggle with mentors. We have to go for teachers. So these are people you meet online, you listen to what they have to say, and you religiously follow it because you know they have the success and they are not fraud. Because you don't want to choose a fraud as a mentor. Like I said, things are based on principles. If he's a fraud, he doesn't have the principles. It may work for him, it won't work for you. But when it's based on principles, they're usually universal. Absolutely. If it works in Nigeria, it works in the UK. Absolutely. It works in Canada. It works in Saudi Arabia.
Okay. So the key reason I drag that out particularly is because I want to make sure that everyone who watches this benefits. So if you're in a position where you have mentors that can be physically present in your life,
be humble and go for it.
Be humble and go for it. Do whatever it takes, and get that training.
Should I say something about mentorship? Sorry, before you
carry
go
on.
That relationship is a very delicate relationship.
Oh yeah.
Don't forget you are trying to get from them. And oftentimes people, because I've tried to mentor people and sometimes they mess up the relationship because they can't see the big picture. You're trying to mentor someone and then he's asking you for things they shouldn't be asking you.
So that's something else to actually talk about because again, some people think that what we do is we speak to youth and then we try to hook them up with people who's going to mentor them.
Yeah.
And some people take that opportunity and think, oh, you're hooking them up to someone who's going to help them. And they think it's an avenue to start asking for money.
And that is the problem. You destroy that relationship.
You destroy that relationship.
In fact, to be honest, mentors oftentimes is a delicate relationship because they are successful. Mm-hmm. The reason why you've come to them is because they're successful. In any area, it could be spiritual. They are somewhere you are trying to get to.
They are not there to solve your problems. They are there to guide you to solve your problems.
And if you manage that relationship very well, they will help you. But if you start to go to them and start to ask for unnecessary help, asking for them for money, you will strain the relationship.
Absolutely.
When you get a mentor, you should do everything to make your mentor happy. Don't try to be asking for money or whatever, because that's not the purpose of that relationship.
Nope. As a matter of fact, so I have mentors and I've gone through this.
Yeah.
Now, financially, you end up investing in your mentors more than they invest in you. Now, it is when they now see that, you have a clear vision where you're going to. They now believe and trust that you're not just wasting their time.
Yes.
Then some of them could even go the extra mile of investing their resources into you.
No, most good mentors would do that.
Yeah, at the initial stage, you have to show them that. Because I travel every weekend to London.
Don't forget that the mentor is replicating himself in you.
Absolutely.
And if you conform to that image they want, everybody is proud to see what they've done. They will definitely open doors for you. But if you start to ask them for money, you close that door. You shut the relationship. Are you getting it? So that's why you have to. They're not your father.
Absolutely, that's very key.
They're not your family. They're your mentor.
Key.
You have to be careful. Yeah, you have to nurture that relationship the right way, and it's very profitable.
So, if you were to summarize this mentor thing, to my viewers right now, in 30 seconds.
You see?
So they get this message. I want them to get this message.
Let me tell you about mentorship. So it's worked. Because of the audience, they probably could relate with this. Is the Igbo nation in Nigeria? So they've got this system. I think it's the most brilliant thing. To me, it's far better than the way education is structured. Mm-hmm. They have this master who takes them under his guardianship and they work for him. They build that relationship, they work for him. But in turn, what happens? The master comes and set them up, teach them the trade, set them up, open doors for them, and that is it. If you want your life to be very easy, get a mentor. That's all I'm going to say.
So in case you missed that, and for those of us from Nigeria, now, Ayo have just said, if you want your life to be easy, to achieve certain dreams and goals you want in life, get yourself a mentor, someone who has been successful in that area of life. Now, it is important that when you get into that relationship, you understand that your mentor is not there to take care of your needs for you or solve your problem. He or she is there to guide you to solve your problems. They are just a guide. So the relationship is one of those relationships that it is very, very volatile and fragile. You must tread with caution. And I'm telling you this honestly. I have had some people in my life that I tried to mentor.
Yeah.
Bang on, they did exactly the same thing.
Yeah, it's strange. They
think the next thing is to ask you for money and all of those. And I promise you, I blocked their number quicker than I called.
Yeah.
I didn't even bother to explain why I'm blocking it, because clearly to me, you don't understand what this relationship is about.
And it's not just that. If you're a very good mentor, you don't want narrow-minded people.
Yeah.
It's a waste of your time.
It's a waste of time.
Yeah. So why should I waste my time on people who are very narrow-minded? You need people who can... You want to bat yourself. It's like a father wants to say, even though they're not your parents, it's like reproducing themselves.
They want to see that you want this.
Yes.
You're not just wanting to be given this. Don't want to be given success on a platter of gold. No. You want it. Yeah. You're hungry for it.
Yeah. Haven't you seen some people have mentored people and sometimes they have family who are not responsible and they hand over their business to their mentees?
Oh yeah. I've seen that severally. We've seen that severally. So, in case you've just joined us, we've been speaking to Dr. Ayo. We studied together, did our masters together at Leicester University here in the UK, and then he went on to continue reading and got his PhD, his doctorate in mathematics. He's been talking to us today on mentorship.